Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Mitch, back in the kitchen again today. As you know, along with the chicken thighs, I did pick up a bunch of pork belly. And I told you I was going to experiment with it a number of different ways. And right now I'm going to do the first one of those experiments and start with what may be, I think, the simplest thing to do with this pork belly. Let me show you what I've got here. Go to the refrigerator, and what I have is I've had this pork belly salt brining in the refrigerator for over 24 hours. I got this piece, I got this big piece, which I may try to put in the smoker tomorrow or do it in the oven. But as part of this experiment, I've got this one little piece here. And since I already had my air fryer sitting out from the chicken wings, I didn't even clean it. I just kind of wiped the chicken fat out of the basket itself. And I'm going to cube this up. I've already salted it, so I'm going to just see what happens if I put these cubes of this pork belly into the air fryer. I've looked up a bunch of different recipes, and the consensus is in an air fryer that I'm looking at about 400 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes. So we'll start there. See what happens, give these things a taste. One of two things is going to happen. They're going to be terrible, or they're going to be okay. And if they're okay, then this is just one simple, quick way to use pork belly and make something very tasty and a little bit different. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn on the air fryer. I'm going to take the basket out of it. I want to preheat it. So we're going to close the lid. We're going to hit air crisp. We're going to go up to 400 degrees. We're going to say, well, let's say 20 minutes, and we'll check them along the way. We're going to press start. We're going to let it preheat. In the meantime, I'm going to slice this pork belly up into cubes. This is how I do it. This is how I figure out my recipes. They're not so much recipes as they are just cooking methods. So we'll put this in here. Spread them out in the basket so they're not all clumped up. That'll do it. That looks pretty good there. It says add the food. We will add the food and close the lid, and we are off and cooking. So that's all I really need to do for right now. We'll come back and see what happens to these things. I'm very curious. Well, we're coming up on about 15 minutes. I'm going to open this thing up, check the temperature, see what they look like. They really weren't big cubes, so maybe they won't need the whole 18 minutes. But we'll get down to the 5-minute mark, and we'll open this up and see what we've got. Let's see what we've got here. We've got strange looking little pieces of pork belly. Some of them are very fat. I'm curious to see what the internal temperature of these things is. Although, wow, they sure do look cooked. This is 200 degrees. This is 200, so 15 minutes, they're at 200 degrees. They definitely cooked enough. So I guess I'm going to have to let them cool down. But I'm going to take one of these and be brave and taste it and see if it's edible, horrible, delicious. Who knows? Who knows? Here goes nothing. Wow, plenty salty. Plenty salty. I learned that. Let's try one with a little more fat on it. And I'll tell you what I think. Well, for the first time in my cooking career, and because this has been an experiment, I got to give it a thumbs down, folks. They're too salty. They don't taste anything like bacon. They're a little chewy. Maybe a little overcooked. I'll work on that. But I'm not impressed. I'm glad I didn't waste the whole belly doing this. That's why I cut those 2 extra pieces off to try some experiments to see if there wasn't some way, quick and easy way to do this. This is not it. So back to the drawing board. Now I imagine if I had cut the bigger cubes and put all the sugar and all of the other seasonings on it, and not just tried to dry brine it, it might have been better, might have been a little juicier, but these things aren't juicy at all, which means I think they're overcooked at 15 minutes. I think the best bet for this pork belly, but I think the best way may be some oven methods or in the smoker. I think in order to get a little of that cured bacon flavor, which is what we love so much about this stuff, it's going to take more than just cubing it up and throwing it in an air fryer. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Sorry to disappoint my friends, but that's how I learn things. I normally don't film the disappointments. This is first and foremost not the first one of these that I've had. So disappointed, yes, but still take the rest of the day off and eat meat. But not this.